Hey everybody, just checking in for the day. It is Thursday the 30th. Hope everybody's doing well. It's nice and hot where I'm at. I don't know if you can see the sun blinding out my right hand side there. But so today I'm just going to be wrapping up the third part in my little three-part topic here of respect. Who do you want it from? I've touched on respect from clients. I've touched on respect from competitors. And today I'm going to be touching on respect from the governing bodies, the people that oversee our businesses, our business practices. Now, you may be low level, you may be mid-management, you may be an independently employed contractor. There's a lot of facets to it, but ultimately, typically, unless you're Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, someone else's name's going to be on the check that's coming in, right? And even those two guys that I listed off, they have people that oversee what they're doing too. So I'll just get right into it. Personally, I believe that there's three aspects that result in being able to gain respect. Ultimately, with a governing agency, the form of respect is going to come through trust. The first one, and forgive me for looking down, the first one's going to be honesty. Honesty in practice and honesty in what we do. That also includes honesty in mistakes. There's going to be a lot of times that we fall short of either expectation or the parameters that have been established for whatever area of work or craft and fill in the blank that we practice in. So, whether you didn't pull a permit, it wasn't done to code, taking that stuff on the chin, making the corrections that need to be made, you're going to gain a lot more trust and respect even in failure from an overseeing person. Whether again it's a pretty broad umbrella or broad blanket, but when you're dealing with whether it's your boss or it's a government agency that's overseeing you, there's still going to be consequences to it oftentimes, but respect can still be earned in honesty. So honesty is a big one. If you're having issues in compliance for some reason, communicate those to the governing agencies. Oftentimes people hold down, they're confronted with an issue where they've been falling short or something's come up or it's approaching where that issue is going to come to the surface, and people act very defensively or immediately go on the offense. Be communicative. If you have issues with some compliance issue or a compliance that's expected of you, oftentimes people, these gatekeepers that oversee our facets of work, will work with us more often than not from what I've had or the experiences I've had. Now, if there's license limitations, like you're not legally allowed to conduct that business, no, they're not gonna cut you any slack. You're not supposed to be doing that. But as long as you can legally complete the work that you're trying to complete, one of the best things you can do is communicate with these governing bodies and go, hey, this interruption has taken place because of this, or we have fallen short because of this, and communicate with them. More often than not, unless there's an agenda on their side, which you can't control one way or the other, you're going to find a human being that understands that problems arise. Their responsibility isn't to just make sure that everybody's conforming to the code or practice or whatever industry you fall in, but to make sure that people are also successful and complete these things. And if you're new, if you've got a long history in it, it's going to be of benefit to these governing agencies that you do succeed. Because ultimately, the reason they have a job is because guys like you, gals like you are out there doing the work. So being honest about any struggles you make that call ahead of time. Don't wait till it comes down and you're behind the eight ball and then they discover it of their own accord and now you're trying to come up with excuses. And more often than not, we all know, you hear somebody coming up with excuses, we all kind of know we know that there was a lot that could have been done beforehand. Lastly, as often and at 100%, be in compliance. Pull the permits, pay the tax, submit all paperwork that needs to be submitted. If there is a delay, don't lie about it. Just be honest. This is going to be in late. Again, more often than not, we're dealing with situations where on the other side of that screen, on the other side of that phone call, on the other side of that meeting, you're dealing with a human being. If compliance issues are an issue, in the industries that I work in, there's going to be a little bit of grace. Ultimately, though, if you keep falling out of compliance, you are not going to have a job. Whether you're working for a company, whether you're independently employed, compliance is key. And there's no real way to shake that unless you just plan on being underground the whole time. So who I'm speaking to are people that want to build the business, want to build a good client base, want to build respect amongst their peers, their competitors, their clients, and ultimately the state and law in which they perform in. All those three tiers will ultimately, with the governing bodies that oversee your practices and work, ultimately will come down to trust. They know. And when more often than not, again, especially if you're leading the way, you're dealing with individuals that will see you, that will see your name, they will see your business name, they will deal with you time and time again, and you're going to build a reputation on the other side of that wall where they're going to come in, and I'll use myself as an example. Oh, Juan with RE/MAX, Juan with Land and Water, Juan with Total Wells, Juan with AAA well inspections. No, let's see what's going on here. He normally falls into compliance. If he's having an issue, let's talk to him and see what's happening. You try to keep that stuff to a minimum, if at all it ever happens. So again, we're looking at honesty from the benchmark, just right off the bat. If you're dealing with struggles, be forthright about it, remain in compliance. Those three things will bring you into trust, and trust coming down from the governing bodies will equal respect, and it's going to allot you a lot more leeway and a lot more success as you advance in your pathway, in your journey in building your company. Where issues arise and where they're born out of are two things: poor communication. You're not answering your calls, you're not answering your emails with these governing bodies, you're not submitting for the inspection in a timely manner, and also just lying. We all remember the people that we can trust. We definitely remember the people that lie to us. Again, we're talking about human beings that are running the other side of that fence that oversee what we do. So if you lie to them and it picks it up as a lie, or they interpret what you're saying as a lie, you're going to create a filter for them where everything you say to them, every bit of communication you have to these individuals is going to be run through the filter of, I need to check this out, make sure this all pans out, because in history past we've had problems with this individual. So I'll leave it there. The video is very long. I apologize for that. I'm pretty passionate about this one because it can make or break a company. You can have all the respect from competitors, you can have all the respect from your clients, but if you're not in compliance, if you're not honest with your governing bodies in the state, or depending on the size of your industry, at a national level, you're not going to succeed. You're going to be shut down, and you're going to end up working for somebody else, and you're going to be creating somebody else's legacy, and you're going to be making someone else rich. So be honest, be compliant. That's the best you can do with a governing body. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys, I'll leave it at that. Just over 8 minutes. If you've hung in there for this whole time and you've watched all 3 videos, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting me and what we do. God bless you guys. Love you guys. Be at peace. Stay safe. And stay tuned for the next stuff coming up. All right. Bye.